All right, everybody, welcome to Team Building Tuesday. And tonight we're going to talk about a very important topic and probably the single topic that can solve every single challenge and problem that you have from the aspect of team building and recruiting. In fact, I will tell you that this one thing can fix every problem in the business. Every challenge that you come across in the business in the way that you handle those problems is what we're going to talk about tonight. And it is a solution that will always lead you to the path of success, always. Let me just give you some examples. If you're not having the results you're looking for, if it's not happening fast enough, if the right people haven't shown up yet, if a couple people showed up but they didn't do what it took and disappeared on you, whatever, any challenge, what I'm going to talk about tonight fixes the challenge, and it fixes them fast. And it's unanimous across the board. And here's what I love about this particular solution. It takes no talent and skill. It doesn't take any talent and skill. It just takes a commitment. Okay. And here's what it is. And we're going to talk about why. And my job tonight, by the way, in my career over 21 years, every single time I had a challenge or a struggle or a problem that I felt like it was getting to me here, I fixed it with this solution every single time, unanimously, every single time. This is also one of the reasons why when you come across some people that have made it and you realize that they might not have much talent or skill, but they made it, this is the reason why. It doesn't take talent and skill. When you talk about the real true solution to any challenge that you have in the business about building in an organization. And that solution, that fix is taking decisive and then massive action. That's the fix. Having decisive, being very decisive, deciding what you're going to do, and then take massive action and doing it. And really what it's all about. And there is an important aspect to this. I'm going to really reiterate and really relate this back to what we do so you can understand this clearly. But the most important thing to realize is this. When you are decisive, you must be decisive and be completely sure it's going to work. You have to get your mind right that you decide, hey, I am going to do this. I'm going to be one of those professional coordinators above on 12-12-21 that have over 10 to 20 executive coordinators in my organization that were changing their life with $300, $600, $900 a month or whatever it is, right? I'm going to be one of those people. And there's no doubt about it. I'm making a decision right now. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. And there's no doubt I'm getting there. Decisive. You made a decision. You don't have to know how you're going to get there, because here's the reality. You're going to get there with massive action. You're going to get there with massive action. And the truth be told, guys, the actions don't have to always be the right actions. In fact, I'd rather have someone that takes a ton of action that aren't always doing the right things than I do with someone who always tries to make sure they do the right thing before they start. Because the reality of it is, you won't know if you're doing the right thing until you actually do it. And you'll learn more from the mistakes you made than from the wins you get. Let me repeat that. When you take massive action, you'll learn more from the mistakes you make than the actual successes you have, which will cause you to build a stronger, more solid business from the mistakes, from the failures, from the challenges. When someone shows up and then 3 to 6 months later, they disappear and they're supposed to give you a 1-year commitment. Well, where did you go wrong? Where did you not get the 1-year commitment? Where did you, what would you, and I will tell you, the answer is you didn't take massive action with them. See, the answer to everything we're talking about in this business is to take massive action, doing the actions it takes to get where you want to go. Not massive results, guys. massive actions. The actions lead to the results automatically. And I want you to not fall in love with the result. I want you to fall in love with the process of taking action. That's one of the most important aspects and concepts that I learned in the business. When I'm showing the plan, I don't give a flying crap if they end up doing it or not. I know I expect everybody to, but at the same time, I don't care if they do or not. It's such a hard mindset to get in at first, but when you get there, you're unstoppable. Because here's my goal and focus. My goal is I'm taking massive action, massive action, massive action. I'm showing the plan. I'm showing the plan. I'm showing the plan. I'm sampling product. I'm sampling product. I'm sampling product. I'm approaching people. I'm approaching people. I'm approaching people. I'm asking people to evaluate it over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm not stopping. And I keep on going until I find the right people. And then here's a mistake that some people make. They find a couple of the right people and oh, I finally make it. And then they cruise, they take their foot off the gas, and they don't get the most important part to their advantage, where you actually start feeding the fire with more people and throw fuel on the flames with more people and more action, instead of just, oh, I'm good now, I found my two, and then hope that they go do it without you. I've done that. A lot of us have done that. I'm looking at some of you. You all know who you are, but I can say it because I've done it too, right? You keep on going. You pour it on, because it's all about massive action. So let me tell you what massive action does. I made some notes to myself as I was thinking today when I was on the elliptical working out today. So again, you have to make a decision. Just be decisive. I don't care if the decision is wrong. Just make a damn decision. Successful people make decisions, good or bad, they just make the decision. And then after they make the decision, if it's wrong, they figure it out pretty quickly when they're taking action, and they adjust the decision and fix it. Whereas other people will think about it as long as it, for longer than it takes someone to make the mistake, fix it and get better. Make the decision, right? I am going to go all in. I'm going to make it happen. And then you get super clear and sure about it. Just tell yourself every day, this is going to work. I know it because I'm following a process that worked for so many people. You're sure, you're decisive, you're committed. You have no doubt in your mind it's going to work. And I'm telling you, if you take these massive actions, it's going to work, because there's only a matter of time. Time is on your side. As you are shucking the oysters, showing the plan, or flipping the cards, it's only a matter of time till an ace shows up. It's only a matter of time till an oyster pops open with a pearl in it. And it doesn't matter. It's inevitable. It's a law of probability. As long as you don't stop short of the goal, you're going to find it every single time. So you go all in. And here's what it does for you. Number one, first and foremost, so you make a decision, you get clear and certain that it's going to work. You're committed. You know it's going to work. You have no doubt in your mind. If you need other people to tell you, that's what we're on together for. And then you just take massive, insane action, massive action, multiple times what you would expect yourself to do, right? We talked about that on our New Year, New You campaign this week about capacity. Do way more than you think you can even possibly do. And watch yourself. This is the first thing it does. Firstly, I do want to tell you this. And the more energy you give to something, the more it will expand. So when you put massive action into this business and put all your energy into it, the more it's going to expand for you. The more energy you put into something, the more it's going to expand, right? So do you want this to expand fast? Then put massive amounts of energy into it, massive action. If you want it to expand slow, don't put that much action to it. If you want your challenge to appear bigger than it is, spend your time worrying about what's going on instead of actually doing the work. And that's the second thing massive action does. Massive action will take you out of the process that happens in your mind when you're sitting there worrying about things that aren't happening for you. or worrying about, oh, well, is this person going to disappear? Man, I don't want this person to disappear like this person did. Am I going to lose something? No. See, when you're taking massive action, you don't have time to worry about those things. So now you're not giving them energy because, hey, if you give that worry energy, that will expand. Does everybody know that? You guys get what I'm saying? You have to put your energy into the result. So when you do more, by the way, so that's the first thing, right? You have to be clear. The more energy you give something, the more it will expand. So give it all your energy. That's the goal of this first 3 months of this year. Go all in with this thing. Get out of your own way. Decide you're not a procrastinator any freaking more and go all in and do more than you ever thought was possible. If we're talking about doing 2 plans a week, how about you be crazy like me and do 2 to 3 plans a day? Why not? We all can do it with technology now. Why not? You can have 2, 3 people at a time on one plan and show the plan every single day. And don't wait for Gina to do it. And don't wait for Maleva to do it. And don't wait for Steve to do it. Do it yourself. Ask somebody else to back you up and be your, color commentator that we call. But just do it. Why are you waiting for other people to win? Take massive action for you. My first day in the business, I registered. I went and grabbed my buddy Ed and I drug him out of bed and made him look at the plan. I had no idea what I was talking about. I took him to Denny's at like midnight. A lot of you might have heard this story. And I was showing him the plan with salt and pepper shakers, with forks and knives. And at the end of the presentation, about an hour or whatever later, he's like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. That made no sense to me. He goes, but let me ask you something. Can we make money doing this? I'm like, dude, have you ever seen me this excited about something before? I wouldn't be here if we couldn't. He goes, all right, I'm in. Let's go. Worst plan ever. Didn't matter. If you're sure and certain and you go all in and you expect nothing but the results, people can taste it, smell it, feel it, and know it's going to work because if you know where, people do not follow people that don't know where they're going. People don't like to follow negative, dull, disillusioned, whining crybabies. They want to follow people who are what? Certain where they're going. You're sure, and you control that, right? You control that, right? So that's very, very important. So when you go all in, here's another thing that going all in does. I mean, I'm like all in everything you got. Everything you got. When you go all in and you give it everything you got, your subconscious knows when you go all in. It knows if you're pretending, if you're a faker and a poser to everybody else, but you can't fool yourself. So when you go all in and you give it everything you got, guess what happens? Your subconscious mind knows it, and it actually makes you believe that you deserve more than anybody else out there. You know why? Even if they have more talent than you. Because your work ethic, you're going all in, your willingness to make the sacrifice and make the commitment to go all in and approach 3 to 5 people a day and show 2, 3 plans a day. If you go all in, I'm not saying you have to do this to make it in the business, but I'm saying you want to get massive results fast? Do you want to maximize your experience with this business or just do the minimums? Because if you want to just do the minimums, that's okay. You're going to get minimum results. But if you want to maximize, you get a business, go all in for goodness sakes. What do you have to lose? Some time, some sleep. What do you have to gain? 6-figure residual income for the rest of your life? Right? Think about that. Y'all can do it, right? Just massive action. So, but you will believe, your mind will it'll believe that you deserve to make it and have more success than even those people that have more talent and more money and more resources than you do, because you're outworking them. Because you're outworking them. And you'll get more success because you're outworking them, and your subconscious will lead you there. Whereas theirs, because they're half-assing it, or they're making it look like they're taking action, but they're really not in the surface, they can't fool themselves, and their subconscious is going to hold them back. Because their mind knows they're not going all in. But yours knows. So that's the second thing going all in does. Third thing is taking massive action sets the pace for yourself. It creates momentum for you. You know, I'm telling you. And you, by the way, create energy. We also talked about that this week on New Year, New You. When you get to a point where you don't think you can keep on going, it's like a kid that should be falling asleep, but if they don't go to bed, all of a sudden they get overtired, and then all of a sudden, boom, the energy skyrockets again. It happens for us too if you keep going. Barrel through it. Derek knows exactly what I'm talking about. Derek's laughing, right, Eric? We got kids, we know, but it happens for adults. You haven't, and you go into survival mode and your body instantly clicks in. Don't think you go any further, and boom, all of a sudden you have this second wind. Gina called it on the call the other day, but you actually start generating survival energy that actually so much more that you need, that you have some to give away later in the day, where most people are going to crash at the bottom, not create energy, and have to restart the next day. And they don't realize that they have that capacity within them. It's another thing that Going All In does. And I encourage you guys, man, if I could freaking get you one thing through your head moving forward, is self-develop every day and give it everything you got. And I don't care if it's only an hour a day or 2 hours a day, but give it all you have at the time. Those two things will change your life. And this one solves every problem, every single problem, because you won't have time to worry about the dumb stuff. You just keep on going. So that's all. That's another thing it does. It creates momentum, and by the way, that momentum carries you through the challenges. It carries you through the challenges. But if you don't create that momentum of massive action, one challenge, right, Maleva? We've gone through this together early in your career. That one single challenge can completely derail you and put you in with your tail between your legs and hiding under the bed. I know, I've done it too, right? But when you learn how to create that momentum, that just takes you right through it. Like nothing stops you, because it can't affect you, because you have momentum and you're going, and you're not one person's good or bad. It's nothing. You are creating your own destiny, because your massive action is leading to the right people, no matter what. And the cream will rise to the top every single time. And you also inspire some people to become and rise to the top at the exact same time from the things that you do to inspire them. So that's that. It creates momentum and inspires you. And creates momentum for you to follow. It also inspires others. Massive action inspires others. You guys know, in this business, one of the most important things is very rarely will anybody go higher than the bar you set in terms of committed energy. Very, very seldom will somebody in your business ever do any more than you set as the bar. It's such a rarity. So if your bar, so here's the thing. For me, this is my mindset all the time. This is what I tell Lisa all the time. If I set my bar at, a level here, right? 2 plans a week, and that's all I do, right? Very seldom will anybody try to exceed my bar. People like to follow the path of least resistance. Oh, well, Don's successful. He's made millions. He's only doing 2 plans a week, so that's all I want to do. It's not something people consciously say themselves, but it's a subconscious thing. They set a bar. So very rarely will anybody ever surpass that. But I might have people that want to make 6 figures in 6 months or 9 months or a year. They're not going to get there with 2 plans a week. So I want to set the bar as high as I want to set it, so that people that want to make millions can get there too. And other people can decide somewhere in that flux range where they want to find their comfort zone, or I always say a little above the comfort zone, right? Because that's where you grow. But it inspires others nonetheless. It's about massive. It inspires others. You set the bar, people will try to reach your bar, especially the competitive ones. So that's another thing it does. Massive action, we already talked about. It also creates energy. It helps you create energy within yourself that you can share with other people. And it keeps you going far beyond what you thought your capacity was before. And I'm going to tell you what massive action is to do at the end of this, so you know. I'm just not saying massive action, but what you need to do is just 2 or 3 of them. That's it. Action always stops you from worry. Massive action eliminates worry from you. It completely gets rid of the worry you have. The worry is, oh man, is this person going to do the same thing that this person does? You know what I mean? How many of you have experienced what I'm talking about, right? Oh, is it, this person seems really, really great, but are they going to fizzle and da-da-da-da-da-da-da? No. You keep going. Massive action will keep inspiring them, so it won't happen. But more importantly, it keeps your mindset right. And it creates expectations of winning, not expectations of what? of retraction, right? That's another thing it does. It also prevents you from wallowing in your challenges. If you wallow in your challenge, that's giving them more energy. And guess what happens when you give your challenge more energy? They grow. And you get caught worrying about stupid stuff that doesn't matter, that you can completely solve if you just go all in and take massive action. Last couple things taking massive action does is massive action makes it fun because you're not worrying about the results of any meeting. You don't care about the results because you're doing so much of it that out of every 10 plans you show, 2 to 4 of them are in, and out of those 2 to 4, 25 to 30% are going to be go nows. That's just the numbers. And you won't be able to stop those 25% of every 4 and every 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the numbers. You can't make somebody be a go now that doesn't want to be. You can't make somebody not be a go now that wants to be. You can't do it. So just go through the numbers. They'll decide for themselves. You just set the bar and they'll follow through with you. So huge. Oh my goodness. It's so much fun. How many people have done plans with me and all we did was joke and laugh the whole time or most of it? Right? How many of you? Yeah. You notice that? I'm always cracking. You know why? Because I'm having fun. And you know when I have the most fun? When people say stupid crap and don't do it and disappear, I'm completely amused by it. Because listen, my value, when I have a meeting that doesn't go the way I want it to, when it comes down to business plan, business growth, I'm going to get some value out of it. I'm going to get some comedic relief. I'm going to plant a seed for the future, maybe change their life, but maybe they're not in the right headspace to be open and receive what we have yet, because our life isn't ready for it. I'm planting a seed with them, but they could be hard soil that hasn't had any water and no nutrients and no fertilizer in years. So no matter how great and how good that seed that I plant is, if they don't have the water, the fertilizer, and all that kind of stuff in them, it can't grow. But I still planted it there. Someday the fertilizer and rains might come. You understand what I'm saying? But I had fun in the process. I'm having fun no matter what, because we're just having a good time going through it, enjoying it, and cracking jokes and just, that's you guys. I mean, almost every single one of you raise your hand. That's how we do it. That's what it's all about. And the last thing taking action does, it leads you to the right people faster. Taking massive action leads you to the right people faster. And then you won't get caught like all of us have, where we have people in our team that have all the freaking ridiculous potential in the world, and yet we can't get them to get off the toilet seat, if you know what I mean. Because they're just not right for them. That's okay. I love them. I don't get offended by it. I hope to inspire, encourage them to do something for themselves. So I'm going to make it anyway. You know why I know I'm going to make it anyway? Because I'm taking action. And I'm not, my timing, I also realize me taking massive action, my timing is not dependent upon anybody else's timing. It's depending upon mine, because I am making and taking the action. And that's what it's all about. So to wrap this up, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this. I mean, I got all fired up. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I can't wait till we can do some of these live and in person, because like I have all this energy I'm creating, but it's like I'm trying to give it, but it like bounces off the screen. It doesn't go to you because it's a damn computer. But like if you were there, you'd feel more. Hopefully you're creating some on your own, just listening, so you can feel what I'm putting out. But anyway, so here's the massive action that you need to take. It's real simple. There's only a few things. First thing of massive action, number one is you need every single day, at every single waking moment, to reach out and ask somebody to evaluate the business plan. That's the most, and get people to evaluate the plan. Again, not get them interested. That's work. That's creating a result. A result is them interested. I don't want you to create a result. I just want you to create the action. The action is ask somebody to evaluate, because they might know the right people. Hey, can you evaluate my business? I'm expanding. I'm looking for the right people. I know you're busy, but you might know the right people. That's it. And do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Keep on going, right? That's the first thing. Ask people to evaluate the business. That's 1A. 1B, is to ask people to evaluate the product, buy or try a product. Buy or try a product every single day. Listen, I'm talking to you guys that want to make this happen freaking fast, that are all in, that are willing to go all in, that will make a decision, go all in, and change your life and be at six figures by the end of 2021. Do you want to be at six figures at the end of 2021? Or do you want to be at the end of 21 and say, man, I wish I would have just went all in when Don talked about it on the 20th or whatever today's date is, 19th of January, but I, was indecisive and thought about it, and I'm going to do it in 2022 though. 2022 is going to be, you let another year go by. It's all right. Don't get me wrong. The timing's not right. The timing's not right. I'm not trying to make you do it. I'm just trying to appeal to those who freaking want it as bad as I did. And as bad as I want to see it make for you guys. I can't wait to see. I mean, like, there's nothing more in this world, outside of family stuff, I'd rather see than every one of you at six figures in the business. I don't care what a lot of you in the same leg. I'm going to be capped out. Some of you are in legs I'm capped out on already anyway. It affects me because of the legacy and what we do to impact other people's lives more than the income. Right? Come on, man. Anybody can make 1 center to 5,000 BV a week. It's not that stinking hard. It gets hard when you're doing 3 and 4 or 5 centers at $500,000 or, direct executive director and up, because it takes more. But 2 legs, 5,000, anybody can freaking do that by taking massive action without talent or skill. Just go all in. So that's the second thing, is get people to buy or try a product. And then after, and after they buy or try a product, ask them if they know somebody that'd like to buy or try it. And then after they recommend people, ask them, hey, there's a business behind these products and you'd be making money because you're recommending me people. Let me show you the business. See how it all comes together? And you just go through it. And here's the thing. The people that you don't think are going to do it will, and the people that you won't, that you will think will do it won't. So don't prejudge. Don't pre-qualify. Freaking hate when people say you don't qualify anybody. Qualifying people just means the only way you can qualify people is see if people can lead to other people. That's a way to qualify people, if they're willing to be coachable, right? Right? If they lead to other people, that's the only really qualification that you can justify. But don't prejudge or pre-qualify people on what their experience is, where you know why? Because if people would prejudge me, I wouldn't be in the business. I was a 23-year-old kid working 80 hours a week, climbing ladders, trying to make a living doing roofing after I kind of hurt myself and got out of baseball and didn't have a backup plan. I had there was no reason for me to people want me in a business with them at 23, wet behind the ears, no experience, kind of raw, no, none. But I was willing to lead the people. I was willing to take massive action, because there's one thing you can't measure. You can measure skills, experience, backgrounds, all this type of stuff. There's one thing you can't measure, and that's the most important thing. And that's the heart that somebody comes into the business with. That's the heart, how much heart they have to keep going even when things get tough. You can't measure that. You can only experience it by getting in the trenches with them and going to work and setting the pace for them to make it. And you can't expect or ask people to do something you're not willing to do. So why not go all in, right? So that's the two things. And then the last thing in massive action, right, is do massive action in self-development, right? Just continue to build your confidence in your mind, but do not take time to do it during business hours. So important. Don't take extra time to do self-improvement activities during times where you can be doing business action activities, right? So massive action, approaching people and then showing the plan, approaching people and getting them to buy and try a product, right? Third thing is self-development, but that's massive action, self-development while you're doing other things that don't interfere with what you're doing. Like, for example, exercise, right? And feed your mind at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? By listening to audios. Right before you're going to bed, read the books. When you're in your library, you all have a library, right? It's your bathroom, and we all have to spend some time there every day, or else you have massive problems, right? So, and you're in your library, read your 10 pages, right? And think about it, 10 pages a day, 30 days, 300, you're through any book in 1 month. right? Just taking those 10 pages per day while you're in your library, that one, a couple times a day or whatever it is, right? And the last thing to take massive action on is buying from yourself. Every single time you need to buy a product or service, you start with exclusive products, buy that all from yourself. And it's like a game. We gamify it in our house. What can we use exclusively from our exclusive products that can fix that we can get where we don't have to spend anything from a competitive store, right? What can we buy from ourselves? And every single week, make it a massive action on buying everything from yourself, taking all the money that you would have spent at the stores and channeling it through your business, starting with exclusive products and figuring out as many exclusives that you do first, and then only filling in the gaps after that with the partner stores once you realize there's not exclusive product for it. And that's it. That's the 4 massive actions. And if you do those, you're unfreaking stoppable. Unstoppable. And that's this week. So I hope this hit a chord. I hope this struck a chord with some of you. I hope some of you got pissed off at me tonight, because nobody ever does anything great by being motivated. I love when JR says it. People get great by getting irritated. So I hope I irritated some of you. You think, Don, you don't understand. I'm giving it a lot of effort. I'm not getting where I'm going to go. I call bull. You know why? Because if you were giving it everything you had in the time slot that you gave it, you'd be making it where you want to make it right now, because it's impossible not to. I'm telling you, I can tell you right now, in my 2 years, I'm 21 years, 2 years. In my 21 years, I only had maybe 2 or 3 times that I gave it all I had, all I had, right? One of those times, in 4 months, I built 2 legs from 0 to 5,000 a week in 4 months. That was in 2017. 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, I can't remember. In that range where the stock market and the economy was crapped out. And I'm telling you, that was one of those times. And everybody can do it, because I was just massive action. I didn't care what people were doing. I was just doing. I was showing infinite numbers of plans. I was approaching everybody I could, and I was finding new people by professional networking. We talked about that, 2 weeks ago. And so I always had people to talk to, but I was getting people to evaluate the business. I was getting as many people as possible to buy or try a product. I was every single opportunity I had, I was just saturating my mind positive. You know why? Because the more plans you do, the more negative people you talk to, and the more you need to reprogram yourself to not let them get to you. And the last thing is, I would not spend $1 through anybody but me. And I would transfer every single dollar I need to spend and make sure it went through myself. And that's the only 4 things you need to do, and focus on it all in. And you can make it. And every single, I'm just going to reaffirm this. If you want what you really say you want, if you really want to get the results you want, you get it by doing what I just talked about tonight. You get it by going all in on yourself. Go all in on you. You all have jobs and you work for people, and a lot of you, and you give everything you got for other people, but you won't do crap for you. How about you go all in for you for once? How about you go all in for you? The effort. I dare you to give the effort. I dare you to give the equal amount of effort to your own business that you give somebody else's every single stinking day. I dare you to do that. I freaking challenge you to do that from now until the end of March, and see what happens in your life. You will be freaking on your way to 6 figures and more if you give your personal business the same effort you give other people shit. Sorry, but it is what it is. Right? And that's what I challenge you guys to do. So appreciate you being on. And we are going to ask some questions.